Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we are going to be working on our February color along. I decided that we were going to be doing a page in Daydreams because this is one of the books that I want to complete eventually, and I am focusing on this book. This is one of the books I'm focusing on this year. So I'm going to pick I picked a beautiful page out of here, and it is this unicorn page, which I have not done yet. I do have my plans here for what I want to do. I have some colors picked out. I am almost ready to go. I did want to talk a little bit about what my plan is. So the background is going to be a darker blue color, maybe a couple different blue colors. It's not going to go to the edge of the page, but it is going to be kind of a flowy, free, fun background. And I'm just going to do that with some chalk pastels. And then we're going to use a few... and then I'm going to have a white horsey and some fun rainbow color hair in here. And yeah, I think it'll be a fun page. So let me get my backer page and let me get my chalk pastels and we will get all started. Okay, so here we go. Let's make a mess. So my first color that I think I'm going to use, so I have this, what size? It's a 64 set of Mungyo pastels. Mungyo, I can't remember how to pronounce it. Somebody told me, and then of course I forgot. But I'm going to pick a couple of these darker blues, and I'm going to add in the color where I want it, and then kind of show you guys how I do that, and then I'll probably speed that up a little bit and let you guys do the rest of that kind of on your own. And then we'll get to the work on the rainbow hair and stuff. So let's see, let's pick this blue. This one's kind of a grayish turquoisey blue. This one's pretty bright blue. And this one's really dark. And again, you're going to get messy hands, so just be prepared for that. And then I use these cotton pads to apply mine. You could use cotton balls, Q-tips. These ones I have found give me the smoothest application, so that's why I tend to use these. And then you'll notice that I'm going to be going over top of a lot of the lines on here, but then I'm going to use my eraser to just get rid of that so that I don't have that color on there when I go to put my rainbow colors down. So for those of you who have not seen me do this, I take this cotton pad, I put my finger in the center, I fold it over once, fold it over again, and then I have a nice surface to use there. So I'm going to start with this lighter color first. So I just rub it on the pad and get some color on there. And then we're just going to start in. So I'm just using light pressure. You don't want to push too hard, and a circular motion. And anywhere where I don't want to get too much color, I can just kind of avoid going in there. And then if I need to, I can get in there with like pencils or something like that to get that color kind of out, or get that color close to the line art, because you can kind of see like between the hair here, like I can just go straight over top of that and then erase. That's no problem. But if I don't want to have to be erasing everything under the sun, then you can always do pencil work later on. And when you apply small amounts of chalk pastel like this, you don't really have to set it. You can, it's always an option. But when you just use lighter coverage like this, it's not gonna come back off really. Okay. So yeah, so like in here, I'm gonna be doing a lot of erasing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this side, and then I'll go over on this side, kind of a speed color section. But I'm going to add in another color now. So I'm going to add in this brighter blue color. And I just adjusted where my finger was on the, ooh, that is That is not bright. That is dark. Darky, dark, dark. Oof. Okay, so we want to spread that out a little bit. And maybe not get quite as much on my cotton pad this time. Okay. All right, and then I've got one more blue, and this one's really dark, so again, be careful how much you get on there. I'm gonna put it close to the body on this one. It's almost like a black color. It's really dark. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines around the outside. I don't want it to stop at a certain specific point. I want it to be kind of flowy and move around the page. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and do this side of the background, and then I will probably clean up. Well, and then I'll talk to you guys again here in a second. So, all right, I'm going to speed that up. Okay, so we've got that chalk pastel done. Now I'm going to use my Derwent eraser. So this is my Derwent electric eraser. Any electric eraser will work. Any eraser will work, really. Like, you can get in there with just like one of these guys. But it helps if you have these specific tools to kind of get in there. So I have this Tombow Mono Zero eraser that is, it's retractable and expandable. So, and it's a very fine one. I don't know exactly what size this is. It says ultra fine. And then this one, for the bigger areas. So, for example, I'm just going to kind of give you a show here. So I'm just going to run my eraser in wherever I had chalk pastel that I didn't want. I'm going to use one of these big fancy brushes. This is just a makeup brush that I got pretty inexpensive. And then go through and just kind of clean up around my page like that. Any of the bigger areas, I'm going to use this bigger eraser. And then when I need to get in the smaller areas, so like for example, let's do like this part down here, I can just come in with my eraser and get in really quick and just get that erased. And some of the areas where it's a pretty light blue, I might not even have to. The only reason I'm going to go over that is because I don't know where some of my colors are going to go. And I don't want like that blue to show through too much. So you can kind of see, like, it's really light out this way, but you can kind of see that, and it's basically, you're just tracing the line art with your eraser, and it just kind of gets all the chalk pastel up. You just brush it away like that. So I'm going to go through and get this whole horsey cleaned up, and then when I come back, we will get started on coloring the horse. Okay, so you remember that whole thing that I said about you don't have to seal the page? Look at my hand. It's lovely and blue. And I am getting it all over my white unicorn again. So I am going to go take this and spray it sealed so that all of the darn stuff stays where it's supposed to stay. And then I did go through and clean all this up, but it's blue again because my hand kept dragging across the page. So if you have a workable fixative, which is what I will be sealing with I think it's Krylon workable fixative. I would recommend doing that step right now. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will be back with you guys here in a second. Okay, so I got that sprayed. You want to make sure you do that in a well-ventilated area because it does have a little bit of a scent to it afterwards too. And I have my colors pulled. Now I'm using a combination of Marco Raffine pencils and Brutfuner squares. And these are both pretty budget-friendly pencils. So they're easily, you can buy them both on Amazon, and I have had decent success with both sets. So I thought that I would try them out on this paper. I don't think I've used, I know I've used Marco Raffine in here before, but I don't think I've ever used the Brutfuner squares. So, yeah, so let's get started. So I've got a rainbow of colors, and I will put the inspiration image that I found. I'll put that up on screen so you guys can see kind of where I got my colors from. And I will have all of the colors listed in the description below. So yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure what I want to do yet. So this is going to be a fun experiment, right? Okay, so I've got these colors, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the hair and the tail kind of similarly, where I go from like pink all the way through to this purpley color, and the same on the tail. I think that's what I'm going to do. And a lot of this I'm going to have to talk through with you guys, so there probably won't be too much like sped up in music. But yeah, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with my 513, and this is, I'm not going to be doing the beautiful job that Corey does when she does like her flicking and stuff. I'm going to leave some highlights on occasion where I see them, but other than that, it's just going to be the colors going from one to the other. And yeah, I don't think that I have the patience to do like pretty flicks through this whole thing. There's no way. So I'll leave a couple of spaces here and there where I think a highlight might be, but other than that, yeah, that's gonna be about it. So right through here, there's probably gonna be a highlight. So I'm just gonna leave that space open. Let's see. There might be a little bit of a highlight through there too. So it's going to be just probably a lot of me coloring this one today. So if you don't want to listen to me chat, you are more than welcome to speed this up, because it's going to be, I think, a lot of me just switching back and forth between pencils, and that's about it. I wanted to do this rainbow hair because I recently did that video on coloring rainbows, the How I Color Rainbows, for like the How I Color Alphabet series, and it's just been really fun. I've really enjoyed doing that, and I really had fun coloring the rainbows, and I don't usually color rainbows very often, so that really got me in the mood to do more, and I just wanted to keep going. Okay, so let's start this one here. We're going to start that with the green. Now this is just one layer, and we'll see how it goes from there, but I'm kind of excited to see what this looks like in the end. Okay, so that is going to be, that's a little concerning that I'm already to this color. So I might need to spread this out a little bit more, the colors, as I go this way, or maybe I'll start again with a different color and then go through. Who knew rainbow color hair would be this tricky. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this green color. I thought that little inspiration picture that I found was really cute. And I just wanted a different kind of rainbow tone. I didn't want it to just be primary colors. I wanted it to be just fun, kind of different colors. So it's almost going to have like a pastel look, I think, to it. That yellowy orange color isn't super pastel-y, but okay. Well, these pencils are both working pretty well. I'm enjoying using them so far. And I don't know if the fact that I have that workable fixative over top of this, if that is really affecting the way that that would normally move and flow on the page, but I like it. Okay, let's see. I do want more pink, so I'm going to extend the pink farther back on this side and then probably more on the tail. We'll do more pink on the tail. But for this one, I'm just going to have this go down to yellow. There's probably a little highlight right there. Get a little bit of that orangey color. So it's really, I mean, this is really a really simple way to do the rainbow. You can, I mean, I could have done like, you know, each strand, whatever, but instead I'm doing like chunks of color as you work your way down the main. I did do a rainbow hair in that video as well. I think sometimes it's hard to see where hair is coming from. I think this is all hair together right here. We're just going to say that's all one chunk of hair. Yep. And yeah, go from there. So it's been a while since I've done a color along. And I was not sure which page I wanted to pick. And then after I did that rainbow page, I had this one flagged to be like a rainbow tones. So once I did that rainbow page, I was like, oh, this is definitely going to be my rainbow now. Okay, so let's see. Let's do these hairs coming this way. I'm going to have a little bit of a highlight right there. So I'm going to add a little bit of this darker pink. Oop. All right, and then right into the yellow. Okay. And then if I feel like I need more highlights and stuff later on, I can always go back in with my white Posca and add those in manually. Let's see, how do I feel about this? All right, all right, all right. And it's just a matter of kind of blending things back and forth over and over. Oops. Yeah, I think that whole thing will be really pretty when it's done. So let me jump to, so you can kind of see what how I'm doing it through the whole thing. I'm just, as you know, as I move farther away. So let's do this big old weird looking chunk here. So I'm going to start there with the green. And I'm going to say that all of this, it's kind of hard again to figure out what is color and what is, what is hair and what is not. So I'm going to carry this color pretty far back on this one. And then just add in this other color. So normally for like this kind of, what is that, like a filigree kind of thing, I would have, you know, different colors kind of blended together. I would make it look probably more like gold. I think I've seen a couple of images with this one where it did look gold, but it's kind of tricky to color this one that way. I do want to try to get some attention drawn to those lines, so I'm going to give it a little bit of extra shading in certain areas, and then I might come back in with like a gray or yeah, probably a gray to do a little bit more shading on those. Okay, let's keep going around the sky. So I'm just carrying that color all the way around. And then I'm gonna use my next color along to kind of give it a little bit of definition and then blend that in. The nice thing about both of these pencil sets too is they are very blendable. They work really well together. As long as you're not pushing too hard, you can make them blend and look nice all the way through. Okay, so now we've got this color. This is the first time I'm using this. Hopefully it's not too close to the background color. It's more of a purpley blue, which is why I chose the tones I did in the background, because I knew that this purpley blue color was going to be in here, and I didn't want it to kind of disappear into the background. All right, and let's use this color. We're going to blend that all in together. Well, I guess I could probably go back to pink, couldn't I? Because that pink is a good transition color from that purple, so yeah, that doesn't look bad. Definitely will have to use a gray to get some shading in there though. And a lot of this is just, you know, going back over, getting another little layer in here so you've got a nice seamless blend from one color to the next. This one I'm going to add a little bit more color into. Add a little bit more color to this one. And I can always come in here too with a blender pencil or a blender pen or something like that to kind of get those colors to mesh together a little bit better. So for example, I do have my Caran d'Ache blender here, and it looks pretty good already, but I can kind of get that to blend a little bit better, get some of the white of the paper out of there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I like this transition here probably too. All right, I like that. So basically that's going to be it through the whole thing. I think what I know I just said earlier that I wasn't going to speed this up, but if I have you guys sit here with me and do this whole thing, you're going to get bored. So that's my basic game plan. I'm going to start with the pinks up close to the head and move out into the different colors as I move farther away. And then if it's too long, I can always loop back around to pinks and whatever. So I'm gonna finish the mane, and then I'm gonna finish the mane and the tail, I think. Well, I want you guys to see some of that. No, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna speed color the mane, and then the tail I'll do on my own. That's what's gonna happen. I'll speed color the rest of the mane. The tail I'll do on my own. And then when we come back, we will work on the body of the unicorn. So, okay, here we go. I'll see you again. All right, I'll talk to you again here in a second. Okay, so I noticed, so like on these curly cues, they are see-through, but on this curly cue, it doesn't look like any of the hair continues. So I'm going to connect some of the lines on here, but I'm not going to make them super thin. So I'm just adding lines that look like it's a guess of where the hair would go. And it's just going to be like a little bit of a wavy line, and that's it. So like this part out here, that hair goes there. Okay, there. Now that looks like it continues through that part, at least. Okay, so then I can come through with a little bit of a yellow behind here. And then a green. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to speed this back up now. Okay, so there is the mane all done. I am going to probably add in some white highlights, which I will do with you guys really quick. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the tail. But just so you guys can see kind of what I mean, I'm going to take my white anywhere where I left a little bit of a highlight area. And anywhere else where I think there might need to be a highlight, I'm going to just go ahead and add it in. Gets a little tricky when you get onto these doohickeys. But, okay, let's get a little bit here, got a little bit up here. We'll put a little bit right here too. Okay, so for these flourishes, I guess that's probably the right tone or term for them. I am going to take this white and add a little bit of a highlight to like the curly parts of the flourish, if that makes sense. So if you can kind of see where I've added in those highlights, these center parts, I feel like those should just be, I don't think those should be white. I feel like those should be some kind of shaded somehow. This is what you get when you have, when you do color alongs with Erica. It's a bunch of guessing and possibly doing this, possibly doing that. Okay. It usually turns out all right. Turns out all right in the end. So I'm really just adding a white highlight to a few parts here and there. Okay, what do we think? Maybe a little bit on this one. I feel like some should be there. Okay, I think that's good. So that is what our, now I'm going to add a highlight here. I gotta stop or I'm gonna just keep going. So I think that that is good for the mane. And then I am going to do the tail off camera. And then when I come back, we will work on the body of the unicorn. So I will see you guys again here in a second. Okay, so here is the hair all done. I am going to have to go in and add in a few shadows, but we're going to do that as one of the last steps, I think, because I'm going to use a black or a really dark gray to bring out some of the shadows in this. So for now, we're just going to add in some shadows onto the horse, and I'm just going to use the Brutfuner Square Silver pencil. And I hardly ever use metallics, but I thought that this would probably be a good chance to do that. With horses, I always struggle where to put the shadows. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do anywhere where an obvious shadow would be, like where things overlap or something like that. I'm going to put in shadow there. But then I'm also going to do a light line along the edge of, oops, I forgot some pink there. There we go. I'm going to do a light line of this silver right along the edge of the horse, the body of the unicorn too. I'm hoping with this, now here's a problem, is when I was cleaning off my unicorn, I did not make sure that I got all of the the blue off. So there was a little bit of extra blue on there. So I just used some white Posca to get rid of that. Oh, I think the silver is working out nicely. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see. Sorry about that. Hang on just a sec. Okay, so hopefully you can see a little bit better. I'm just drawing a line, a very light line, right along the edge of the line that the artist has drawn for the horse, and then just kind of blending away from and then sometimes on the noses of horses, there's like, they have this part that kind of comes back onto their face a little bit, so I'm going to shade that way a little bit. And again, bring the line right next to that other one. Leave the black line. All right, I am going to grab a darker gray. Let's see what I got. I want a cool gray, so I think that 73 will probably work. And this is almost black, but that's kind of what I want because I'm going to color in the nostril here. Add a little bit more shadow underneath the mouth. And then around the, there we go. Yeah, I never know. I need to do like a study on horses to figure out how to do the shading and everything on them. And it's, you never realize how much like anatomy and stuff that you need to know to get the shading right on things. Where muscle groups are and where things would stick out and where things would go in. And okay, so that is going to be my unicorn. I think I am going to grab my white as well. And just get the white in there so that I have that as a placeholder. I don't want to accidentally go over that. So I'm just coloring with the white. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because no, there's nothing on the tip. It looks blue now. I don't know if that's just me, but it looks blue. Okay, so I'm just now shading where it would make sense. So where the hair would kind of create a shadow on the horse. I'm gonna shade out from this area a little bit, just a little. I'm really just trying to soften up that line. I don't want it to be a harsh line. Okay, again, right along the edge of leaving that slight white line between where you put your color and the black line. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a shadow underneath this, and again underneath this necklace. All right, I think that should be dry now, so I can go right along the edge of that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and speed up this part so you guys can see what I do. But it's basically, like I said, I'm just going to be drawing and going in underneath where shadows would be normally, and then along the edges of the animal as well. So yeah, so like I said, I'm just going to speed that up so you guys can see, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so in some of the areas that definitely need another layer of shadow, I'm going to add that darker gray color, and then just kind of go back over with the silver and blend that out a little bit. So we got some there, we've got some up here for sure. And then right underneath this leg. Okay, and then right in here, where that leg overlaps. All right. Okay, that looks better. Okay, anywhere else? Yeah, just a couple more places that I see that I really want to add in some more shadow. So I'm going to do it just a little bit more under certain parts of the hair, just to definitely show that it's in shadow more than other areas. So there, we do need a little bit of shadow in here, which I did not add. Okay, and then a little bit of this darker color in some of these areas back here. Probably end up using this dark gray color that I've been using for some of the shadows around the tail and the hair. Okay, let's see, how do we think? Let's do a little bit more right here. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna make this up here at the ear. I'm gonna make this, oh boy, I hope that was on camera. Sorry if that wasn't on camera, guys. I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. Okay, this silver is nice, but it's really reflective, and so it's hard for me to see what I'm actually doing. Yeah, I think that this looks good here. I think it looks okay. I think. Yeah, we're just going to leave it. We're going to let it be. Okay, so I am going to do the horn. I am going to use this silver color and just do a quick layer over the bigger sections. And then I'm going to use this darker gray, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow at the base of the horn. And then go back over it with the silver to blend it back out. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to use the colors that I had for my rainbow colors. That's all these lovely colors. I'm going to do some of these beads with some rainbow colors, and I'm just going to pick a few of them. And I'm not going to do them in color order or anything. Let's do this one here. Let's do our purple. Let's do this blue color. Yellow. Green. And we'll do this orangey color. And pink. And then once more with, we'll just do this color here and here, and then this blue back there. And then I'm gonna do the blue here, and pink, and turquoise, purple, yellow, and my minty color. Okay. All right, I think that's it there. Let's do, I'm gonna do the, so I'm going to do some more extra little bits. I'm gonna take my silver Sparkle Pop pen, and I'm going to make sure that it's working first. Come on, guy. There it goes. I'm gonna outline this. I'm gonna outline this. Boy, this does not want to work. There it goes. And you can use any silver or gold or whatever color you want to use. But this is just gonna give it a little more sparkle. I'm just tracing where the strings are. Boy, this pen does not want to work, which is weird because it's normally a really good one for me. Okay. All right, the next area I'm going to use this silver pen. I'm going to go over the stars in the background with the silver, I think. So I'm going to do a couple on camera, but then I'll probably just go ahead and cut to them all being done. But you guys will get the gist. So I'm just going right over top of the stars. I'm going to try to black out all the lines if I can, or cover up all the lines if I can. I don't know how much you can see of actually what I'm doing. There you go. So it's just, I'm just covering up the little stars with some silver. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the whole page, and then I will come back and show you the next step. All right, got all of my stars done. I'm going to do the hooves with my silver as well. I'm just gonna fill in those lines really quick. And then the last little bit is really just adding in the shadow. And then I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to do a white outline around, well, no, you know what? I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm just gonna add some white to the hair on the back of the foot, but I'm not gonna, I was gonna white out the whole unicorn, but I'm not gonna do that. Just gonna add the white there. Okay, let's see. Maybe add a little bit of a white line right there on the horsey. I know it's not a horsey and I keep calling it a horsey. Yeah, I think I'm really just gonna add in the shadows. So I'm gonna try first with this, I have this really dark gray, this Brutfuner really dark gray. So anywhere where my hair kind of overlaps, I am going to add in some shadow. So I've got it, there'll be a little bit right here. Again, where hair overlaps the, how's that look? That looks okay. And I'm gonna be mindful of the areas where the colors are a little bit lighter, because you don't want to push super hard in those areas, but you still want to have some definition and shadow coming through. So yeah, so like in these areas right here, I don't know if you'll even be able to see the shadow, but all right, so that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go through, I will speed that up so you guys can see what I've done. And then we'll come back and we'll see the finished page together. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. I think the last thing that I would do is maybe add in a few white dots. And I'm just gonna kind of place them randomly. I'm not really, some of these you're not even gonna be able to see, but I want a few here and there around some of the stars. Just to add a little bit more magical touch. You also want to try not to rub your page, because especially if you're using these sparkle pot pens, they have a tendency to, the glitter comes off pretty easily. Okay, well, you probably can't even see what I just did, but hopefully, here, I'll move it a little closer and hopefully you can see some of those. But yeah, here is our page. I like it. I think it turned out pretty cute. Really enjoy it when you find a color palette and it works out the way that you wanted it to. So yeah, that is it for today, you wonderful, wonderful coloring people. I hope that you enjoyed that, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.